3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone, this is your host, Victoria Wolders, and we're back here for another Empathy Tale episode. Today we get to share with you the white crystal dragonfly, and so this will be an exciting story to hear. If you have not connected yet with me on mykidslocker.com, please feel free to reach out to me through that website. You can follow and subscribe and Instagram and post and tweet and retweet me all through all the social media outlets. Love to connect with you. Would love to hear your feedback on these stories. So today, this story was told at the end of July to my own kids, and it's actually a child with injured hands. So it's a story about a girl who loves art, but she's not able to use her hands, well, at least at the beginning. And she uses some creativity and imagination. And the quote today is, "Take your heart that was once hard and soften it." And I hope today you too, while you listen to this story, will soften your heart. And I hope that it speaks to you about mindfulness, empathy, compassion, and kindness. Well, I will not hold you back anymore. I hope that you enjoy the story, and I hope that you're all comfortable, and I will begin.
Told July 2019. Once upon a time, a long time ago, in the land of the Open Eagle Kingdom, in the land of the Eastern Eagle, there lived a young girl, and the young girl had injured her hands in a fire at a very young age. She was unable to use her hands, but at people's drawings and artwork, and she'd admire them from afar. Her mother always used to say, "I know you can't paint and draw with your hands, but what you can do is you can imagine and be creative." Well, the girl was one day walking on a bridge, and all these magical dragonflies were flying all around her. There were red ones and green ones and purple ones and pink ones, and all of a sudden, a crystal white one landed on her hand. She gently took her other hand and held the beautiful crystal dragonfly, and its wings were translucent and beautiful, and shimmer to it, looked sparkling and magical, and she looked at it very carefully, and all of a sudden it spoke to her, and it said, "I know you have injured your hands, but I am willing to give you one wish. And that one wish, you can do anything what you want." So she said, "For me, really? Well, I would love to do artwork." She said, and the dragonfly said, "Well, I will give you what you want. Just close your eyes and make your wish, and your wish will come true." So at that very moment, she closed her eyes, held the crystal dragonfly, and she wished for her hands to be healed. And all of a sudden, her hands were healed. And as a young girl, this changed her life. She thanked the crystal white dragonfly and ran home. And she left the crystal white dragonfly on the edge of the bridge. She ran home. She said, Mother, I can draw art now. My hands, they are healed." So her mother brought out some paper, and the girl began to draw. From that day forth, she'd always draw and she'd paint, and people around the Oak and Eagle Kingdom came to know her as the crystal dragonfly girl. because she'd often draw pictures of dragonflies, and they were so intricate and beautiful. And what happened was, over time, she would draw pictures of people and landscapes and flowers, and she became quite well known in the area, so well known that she became prideful. And as she grew into a teenager and into a young woman, her paintings were found all over the Oak and Eagle Kingdom, in castles and princes, and kings and queens loved to adore her art. And she became quite wealthy, but not only that, also quite arrogant. And in time, she grew a hard heart. Soon, she started to become quite lonely. People didn't want to be around her. And she drew her art, but the art wasn't the same. People would often say, I don't have that much money to buy your art, so I don't think I can buy it. But if I give you just a little, would you give me one piece of art? She would look at them and say, no, my art is worth a lot more, and I'm not going to give any away. And at one point, she had so much money that her mother even became concerned. She said, you're spending your money foolishly, and you have become arrogant and prideful. You don't care for me anymore. And it seems to me that you don't show love and kindness in your art like you did. Well, the girl became quite prideful, and she realized that she was really lonely. She wanted to be around friends and people. She wanted to meet someone so that she could marry eventually, but no one would come around her because she became quite selfish. On her 18th birthday, she was walking across the bridge, and once again, the beautiful dragonflies started to swarm around her again. She was amazed by the beauty, and the white crystal dragonfly landed on her hand again. This time, she took her other hand, both of which were perfect, and held it close. The white dragonfly said, you know that your heart has hardened. You know that you are lonely because you chose to take my gift and chose to be greedy. You chose to take your artwork, and instead of giving it to those people who would celebrate it, you chose to keep it and only give it to the wealthy and the rich. The girl said, yes, I know, but I just want to be a better person now. And the white crystal dragonfly turned to her and said, you may have one more wish. It's your 18th birthday. And the girl looked at the dragonfly and said, I want to be a better human being. And at that very moment, her hands transformed back into her original hands. She looked at them and said, what have I done? And the white crystal dragonfly said, in your greediness, you have asked to be a better human being. But I know this is the only way that you can be a better human being. Be grateful for the gifts you have. Be grateful for the talents you have. That will be your key to happiness. She looked at him and said, I don't understand. I've wished for the wrong thing. He said, I don't believe you have. Take your paintings and your gifts. Take your heart that was once hard and soften it, and care for your mother. Show kindness to others. Celebrate other people's arts and show them what you've done in the past. With that, you will truly have a happy heart. As she looked at the white crystal dragonfly, she understood what he was saying and knew that she had to change in order for her to truly be joyful and content. She let the white crystal dragonfly go, and it flew off. And she walked home and embraced her mother and was grateful to her mother for being kind to her in those times when she chose not to be kind back. And the mother looked at her and said, "Whether you can draw art or not, I will always love you." And they both embraced. The end. So that was episode 56, The White Crystal Dragonfly. I hope that you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll come back to listen to more. The end.
Thank you so much for joining us for another empathy tale, The White Crystal Dragonfly. I hope you enjoyed today's story. If you want to listen to more of our episodes, feel free to reach out to me at mykidslocker.com. This is Victoria Wolders, your Empathy Tales podcast host. And we have many more empathy tales to come. These are all stories that I shared authentically with my own children, and I also share with my elementary school students. So these are all meant to teach about empathy, kindness, compassion, mindfulness, and perspective taking. And I hope that today you came away with some of those wonderful virtues. Until next time, I hope that you create compassion one story at a time. Thank you so much for joining us.
3, 2, 1, action.